Alright, so today we're working on a little Mazda. That is the AZ1 right there, the AutoZam. And we have the engine, transmission, subframe out of the rear and on the floor. And hold on, I gotta answer that phone. Okay, where were we? We were talking about this little Mazda AutoZam. Not our cute little dog looking for squirrels. And we have the whole drivetrain here on the garage floor. It came in with a supposed blown head gasket, and that's actually what's going on with it. It was uniquely difficult to figure out how to wrap my head around getting the head off. There is no way to do this in the car. There's just too many nuts and bolts that are right here, which is right up against the package tray area of the car. It's a mid-engine car, so the rear window is right here. You can't get to anything here, and there's a lot to get to, let me tell you. So as you can see, let me make this clear. That's my thumb, and if I stretch my hand as far as I can go, I can actually touch one end of the engine to the other. And it says down here, I think it says right there, what does it say? 657 cm, so that's 660 cc's of raw turbocharged power. Now, I have the old head gasket here on the floor, and you can see it's a composite gasket, and it's pooched out in a couple spots. And right here, is it this side? I think it's this, no, it's this side right here is where it blew. You can see there's a deformation in the fire ring. I don't know if you can see that or not. Anyhow, the fire ring is damaged. It's got like two little dents in it right there. And the coolant from this passage basically went into the combustion chamber. The new head gasket, which is from Monster, is right there, is a MLS. So it's multi-layered head gasket. See the different layers there? This one is a fibrous gasket, just the standard one. So this is an upgrade. It's a stronger head gasket. It's metal, multi-layered. Supposedly will hold more boost, all the good stuff. So that's going in this car. And then on the head here, again, for size comparison, I'm going to stretch my hand, thumb to top of my middle finger there, I can actually palm the head. Everything looks pretty good. This cylinder has been whitewashed. In other words, it was burning water, so it's cleaner than the rest. But I've checked the valves, and I'm pretty confident the head's not warped. It's just a blown head gasket, so I'm going to put her back together. Normally, I would take this all apart, put new valve stem seals in it, grind the valves, mill the head, all that. But I think we're okay. I think it's just a simple head gasket. If not, well, I got to take it all back out again. But look at that tiny, tiny little turbo on there. I don't know if you can see. The exhaust pinwheel there is about as big as a quarter. Just really, 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 it's like a little dollhouse. So I'm going to get working on this little dollhouse, see if I can get this back on there and this back into the Mazda that's sitting out in the parking lot and get driving and having fun. So there we are. Thanks for checking in. All right, so we're all back together with the little Mazda AZ1 engine. That would be the AutoZam. Read that. In our little Gullwing miniature micro sports car. So this is a 660 cc turbocharged engine. It now has new exhaust gaskets, new valve cover gaskets, new head gasket, new timing belt tensioner, cam seals, crank seal. All these little coolant lines were rotten, are all new. New thermostat, new gasket. I cleaned the distributor cap and rotor, new spark plugs, a whole host of things. It probably should get a new clutch, but that's going to be another day. And then it'll get an oil change and new coolant and get put back together. That's what we're doing. We're putting this engine in this car. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. All right, so I'm really excited. It's been a lot of work, but I do have the rear suspension, the subframe, the brakes, the shocks, the engine, the transmission, the whole deal. The whole package is back into place. I filled it up full of coolant. Actually, I overflowed it a little bit, and there's a little puddle down there from the overflow valve. Hopefully that won't distract us in starting this thing up. I've got the engine full of synthetic oil. I've got everything plugged in. I do not have the exhaust on. The exhaust is really not worth much. It's really nasty, but I might try to fix it. I might talk to the customer, see if we can get a new one. So I guess what I'm saying, with the exhaust off, this might be kind of loud. This is a 3-cylinder, 660cc turbocharged car, so it's probably going to drive the neighbors crazy. I got the fan on over there to exhaust out the shop. This thing, if you remember in the prior video I showed you, the head gasket that was blown consumed a lot of water. The number 2 cylinder, the one in the middle, was completely polished clean, so it's probably going to smoke if it starts. Let's make sure we got the belt on, e-brake cables. We've got a little leak here from our hydraulic brake lines, which I have not hooked up yet. I want to make sure this thing's going to run. So let's check in here really quick. Yep, I think I got everything hooked up. We've got our turbo to intercooler line. We've got our intercooler to throttle body. We've got our blow-off valves lines, which somebody has put a big ball bearing in and plugged. We've got our intake to the turbo from the air filter. We've got all new coolant lines, new gaskets in the exhaust. The oxygen sensor's hooked up. It should fire. So cross your fingers. Let's see what we got here. We got lights on the dash. We got an oil light, battery light, seat belt light, and I think that's a catalytic converter overheat light. Turn the key and see what happens. Oh! Oil pressure light's gone off. It's got a nice little rumble to it. A little smoky. Kind of what I figured. It's got to clear out. Good thing I took the fan on. All right, I'm going to let it warm up a little bit here and see if it clears out.